Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this Data Analytics with Career Guidance course. So today we are in day 8 of SQL Server training. So in today's training, we'll be learning about insert, update, and delete commands. All right, so let's go to our SQL Server. So these are SQL Server already I've connected. Now let's take new query. Then I'll use DB. We'll take our database. Right. So let's learn how to insert, update, and delete the records from the table. Now, first, let's take this insert. So what is insert? Insert means suppose I have a table and I want to insert data to that particular table, then I'll be using this insert command. Let's go here and see in our database, we have table, let's say a new table, take select star from table employees. Let's see what is the data we have. See, we don't have any records. So we have the columns employee ID, employee name, age, gender, date of birth, mobile, and address. I want to insert the data. Okay. So what we'll do, how to insert? It is very simple. We have command that is insert into. The syntax is very simple for insert. Insert into table name. If at all I have to give specific column list, then I can give the column list and also values and value list. Right, let's go to the window here, the SQL Server window. We'll write the query, like say insert into, I'll give the table name. The table name is employee details. Now, when I say insert into table name, let me say values and I need to type all the values. Let me just take the column names. You can see that employee ID. You should be very careful about the data types because when you're inserting, you should know what data type it is. Employee ID. So I've given character, that is string data type. I'll say EMP001. Any string data type should be in single quote, comma. Name. Let's take the name. Taken the name, comma. Next, age. Age is integer. So let's take a number. Gender. It's a text. Date of birth is date. That should be in this format. Let's say, take it like this. Single quote. Mobile number. So that we are given as character because there might be some characters like +91 or say +1. We'll be adding some brackets or something. So we have taken that in text format. So we'll have number in text format. Address, let me take. So if you see, I have all the column names here. I just check the column names and I've entered all the values here. Let me select this and I'll say FI, one row affected. Now I have the select star from table, that is select and say FI. You can see now I have one record here. That means one record got inserted. Say insert into table name, values, and I have to give all the values for all the columns what I have in a table. So this is insert. Now, suppose I want, this is for single value. Suppose I want to add multiple values, that is multiple records. Then what should I do? Same thing. Go here. Let me copy the same query. And then what we can do is here, just make one enter. Insert into table values. Let me copy this. Adding some more records. Let's go here. I'll say 2, 3, 4. I'm just randomly adding something. Okay. Say I'm just adding some data here. Okay, not going to change too many things. For us, it's just we need some data to be entered. All right, I can see I added 4 more records and all the records should be separated by this complex. All right, you can see insert into employee details, values, and you can see that I entered some records here. I just copied and pasted. So you can add, whatever data you want. But make sure that all the columns here have this employee ID, employee name, employee age, gender, date of birth, mobile and address. Everything should be available here. Now let me select and I'll press 5. 4 rows got affected. That means 4 rows we added. Let me again run this query. And now if I say execute, you can see I'm getting 5 records now totally. So this is how we can actually insert a single record or multiple records. All right. Now, what we did is we took all the columns. That is whatever columns are there in that specific table, all the columns, we added all the values without leaving any of the columns. When I entered the data, what I did, I just executed it and then I was selecting the select star from table and then I was executing to see the output, that is what is there in the table. Suppose I want to check whatever data I am actually trying to input. Okay, when I say input, that means I'm trying to insert. I want to get the output as well. So for that, we have a command here to check the output. Say, once I take this column names, there I will say output inserted dot the column name. Let's go here. I'll take the same thing, same values. Let's take one record enough. Okay. Now here, I'll just make it as 6. And here, let's say output inserted dot. Now I'll just take only employed. Okay, just want to see what I have inserted. Now when I execute this, I'm selecting this and I'm executing this. See, you can see that employee ID EMP006. I don't have to go and check select star from employee details. Automatically, I'm getting the output. Now, what about other columns? Now, if you want to get more columns, then what I have to do is I have to give this a comma, then again inserted, comma, inserted with column names. Let me show you. Just copy this, paste it. Now, let me make it as 7. Okay. Now, if you want some more columns to be checked, I'll say inserted dot employee name, comma, inserted dot date of birth dot date of birth. Okay, I selected three columns. If you want, you can mention all the columns here. Now I'll select and say FI. You can see that I'm getting this employee ID, employee name, and date of birth. So what does that mean? This mean this mean whatever I've inserted to check this data, whatever I've entered, that will be available. Right. Now, this is for one single record. What if I enter multiple records? Let me copy this. I'm not again and again typing, I'm just copying and pasting here. I'll copy this query now. Then let's add here. Okay. Now I have this 7, 8, 9. Let me select here FIC. I'm getting all the records which have been inserted. Now, if you want to check all the records at once, then I'll run this query, select star from table, employee details, run the C. All the data which we have entered will be available here. So likewise, I can insert the data. That is for all the columns. Now, insert command is very easy. So you have to just go say insert, and I'll just take this column, whatever columns are there, and I'll specify the values for that. So this is for all the columns and all the values. What if I want to add the values for specific columns? Let's say, for example, I want employee ID, employee name, and then I will take the mobile number and address. I'm not interested in age, gender, and date of birth. So I want only employee ID, employee name, mobile number, and address. So 4 columns I want to take. The rest 3 columns, I'm not interested to take the data. So if you're actually trying to get the values for specific columns instead of all the columns, then you have to use a query like this. Insert into, okay. Right. Insert into table name. Then what we have to do is we have to mention the columns. The column names has to be mentioned. Like what I have you see, all the column names, we have to mention which columns I'm actually trying to enter the values. So here, say EMP ID. I need employee ID, employee name, comma, employee mobile number, then employee address. That's all. Only these 4 columns I need. The age, gender, and date of birth, I'm not interested. Now, after mentioning the column names, then I have to mention values. Then mention the values exactly what we have the column names here. Employee ID. I'll say MP00, comma, 0, comma, employee name. Let me just take something. The next I have the mobile number. Give some random mobile number. Just observe the employee ID, employee name, mobile number, and the address. You should specify only these, whatever columns you have mentioned, only the value should be mentioned for those columns. Now, when you're entering the values, you should be very careful. If I say employee ID, just below that I should have employee ID, employee name, the next employee name. So it should be like this. It cannot be interchanged. Now let me select this and say FI, one row got affected. Now let's say I will run this. And if you see this, I have this null values for age, gender, and date of birth. All right. Next, should the column names be sequential. That is, I have this employee ID, employee name, whatever is there in the table, should that be in the exact order? No, it need not. You can specify the columns however you want. Now, for example, taking the same query, let's say first I'll take address, and then I'll take ID, then I'll take name, and then I'll take mobile. Now, if you just see, I've taken the columns. That is, I'm not taking in the sequential order. I've just taken that in random way. Now, when I'm specifying like this, I have to mention exactly whatever columns are there. Now, I'll go here, comma, employee ID, comma, employee name, comma, then mobile. Let me execute this. And now, if I select all the values from this table, see, still I'm getting the values under same columns. So you just have to go and mention exactly the column names, whatever is there. Just below that, we can have the values, particularly for that particular columns. All right. So we understood about how to insert. Suppose if you think the output, then you can use this output inserted dot column names. Right. Next. So we understood about multiple records. Now let's go here and we'll create one table, new table. Okay. Now insert can be done in other way as well. Instead of using this insert and giving all these values, we can take the values from another table directly. So for that, what we'll do, we'll create one table. So what I'll do, I will take one query here. Just see, I have one table that is orders table. Let's go and select that. Select star from orders. So it's the simplest query. I'll just go here, I'll select this and say FI. I have 9,994 records with so many columns. I want one more table. Okay. I want one more table with few columns. I want to create one a new table, but not all the columns. I want some specific columns. So what I can do, say select, I can use the star for selecting all the columns, or you can select only few columns. Into, I'll mention a table name, a new table name from whichever table I need. Okay. Let me show you one simple thing and then we'll take the specific columns. Say select star. Okay. Select star into a new table. See the query, select star, and then I'll say into, I'll say orders. Let's make it as orders underscore temp. That means I'm creating one table which is orders underscore temp from orders. This table. Select star into, I have a new table. This is a table name I've given from orders table. I'll say FI. We can see 9,994 records got affected. That means all the records completely. I didn't give any filters here. I'll go and I'll say refresh and let's see if we have that table. Just checking this tables. See orders table. That means I got one more table that is order temp where we'll have all the records from orders table. So select star from orders temp. F5. See, I'm getting 9,994 records. Now let's say I want some specific columns only. Okay. Right. Select from orders. Okay. I'll go here. I'll mention few columns. Let's say I want order ID. I'm just taking all the columns, whatever I need. Then I'll take order date. Right. Then let's say we'll take region. Then we'll take not too many columns, we'll take sales. Okay. So I've taken select, order ID, order date, region, sales. I want these four columns to be in one new table. Say into orders new. I'm saying take these four columns and create a new table from orders table. Let me select this. I'll press F5. Now, if I go and check, select star from orders new. See, I have only four columns. I have only four columns with all the records. Now, can I apply filters? Yes, you can apply the filters as well. That is where class. Let's go here. We'll add some more columns. Say customer name, segment, ship mode. So I selected some more columns, and here already this order new table is taken. Orders, let's say for July. I'm just giving a column name. Here I'll say where sales is greater than or equals to 2000. So now I'm filtering the data for my new table that is with selected data only. Now let me select this. I'll press F5. A new table is created with 140 records only because we have only 140 records with sales greater than or equals to 2000. Let's go here. I'll say select star from orders. Let's say July. Select F5. You can see that I'm getting all the columns, whatever I've selected, but I have only 140 records. Okay, right. Now we understood how we can actually create a new table and take the data along with that. Now suppose I want to insert some data to this table, okay, from another table. Now we have one command here, okay, so here, let's try this. Okay. Now, whatever we did till here, I just inserted the data. Now we created one new table. For that new table, I need to select some data. Okay. Now here it says insert into, I have the table name. What I'll do is I'll select from another table and then I'll say insert. Let's do this. Okay. So here I have a table now. Let's say order July. I have 140 records where all the sales value is greater than or equals to 2000. Now what I'll do, I'll say, I want to insert all the data from orders table where the sales value is from say 1000 to 2000. From 1000 to 2000. So how to do that? Say what we'll do. Insert into. Okay. Now let's say orders July. Copy this. insert into table name. So same syntax what we use for the values what we specify for specific columns. I'm saying insert into and I'm mentioning the table name. Now what I'll do, I'll say select the columns, whatever columns we have taken. So I'll just copy this instead of typing. Okay, select these columns and then we'll try to filters. So what is that? So from which table? From orders table. Okay, from orders table. Now, if I select this and run, all the 9,994 records, whatever is there, that will get inserted into this orders table. But for me, I need to apply a filter. See, I'm telling you, I can run this query. If I don't want any filters, all the records, whatever is there in this orders table to be inserted in orders July. But for me, the query was, the condition was add all the values with the range from 1000 to 2000. So what I'll do, I'll say where sales between 1000 and 2000. I'm trying to filter all the data from 1000 to 2000. Now what I'll do, I'll select this and I'll say FI. You can see 328 rows got affected. So we had 140 records already in this order July. Now let's go and check how many records are there. FI, we can see 468 records. That means we don't have to go and say insert into values like this. We can also select the query and then insert. So either you can use where clause to filter the data, or you can use directly, if you want to get all the records, you can ignore the, you can insert all the records as well. So you can plan accordingly, right? So this is how actually we can insert the data by just specifying the values, or we can select the data from a different table and then we can insert. Okay, so this is about insert. So this is what we have, in insert. So we can also insert, like suppose I want top 10 values, say insert top 10. Okay, there are some more select queries that I'll tell you in the next session, that is select distinct, select top 10, top n values that I'll tell you. Suppose if you think I want to insert top 10 values, like what we did this filters, same way we can use this top 10 for inserting 10 records, that is top 10 records. Then we can use this top 10% where we have this, let's say I have 100 records. In that I want only 25%, then it will take only 25 records and it will insert. So likewise, we can actually use this top 10 or top 10%. That is top 10 means it is top n. You can specify any number of values. Let me show you otherwise. How many records are there? 468 rows are there. Now what I'll do, I'll take the same query. Okay, I'll not type anything. This time, will not take, let's not take the condition. Here I'll say insert top 10. Okay. Top 10. And I'm saying into this table. Now the top 10 records. Now we have this 468 records. Let me run this. Okay. 10 rows got affected. If I run this, see 478. That means 10 more records got added. All right. Next, suppose I want top 10. I'll mention percent. Okay. Top 10% means it is, let's say 9,994 records, out of which we'll be taking 10% of the records from which table? Orders table. Now let me execute this. See, 1000. That is, it is getting rounded off. I'm getting 1000 records. When I execute this FI, you can see that I got 1478 records. right? So this is how we can actually insert the records to a table from another table. All right. The next query is what we have is update and delete. Update and delete are very simple. It is just to modify the records which is available in the table. And it is so very simple and you don't have very big queries to write. It is just to modify the data which is available in the table. The syntax is very simple. Say update column name. Sorry, update table name. Then we mention set and which column I need to update. Now, when you're updating, you should be very careful. I need to give this where class. Why? Because let me show you. Let's say select star order July. Okay, let me select. If I can see, I have some data here. Okay, now let's say I want the segment, okay, to be modified from consumer to CON. Now what I'll do, I'll say update table name, orders to list. Okay. Now I'll say set segment equals. That's all. If I mention only this, you just observe. I'll select and I'll say FI 1478 records got affected. Let me select this and press F5. You can see that all the data, whatever is there in segment column will be replaced with CON. So please be very careful when you are updating. Now what I'll do, I'll go here, take the input, will update another column, update July, set. I will say wherever we have, let's take a simple, okay, we'll take the ship mode equals, we have the standard class. I want the standard class to be deluxe class. Okay, I'm changing the standard class to deluxe class. But where did I mention that the standard class has to be changed to deluxe class? Nowhere I've mentioned. Now, if I run this query without the where class, the entire ship mode will get changed to deluxe class. So what I'll do, I'll say where ship mode equals, I have to mention standard class. Let me select this and press F5. 855 records got affected. Now let me go here. I will select F5C. Wherever we had the standard class, that has become deluxe class. So likewise, we can update the data. Right. This is for only one column. Now, what if I want to modify multiple columns? Let's go here. We'll take the same query. I need to update multiple columns. Update order July, that is update table name, set ship mode. Now we don't have standard class, we have the deluxe class. Now wherever it is deluxe class, okay, I want that to be premium class. Okay, should be premium class. Let's take one more condition, one more column, okay, and the segment, okay, should be equals to premium. The segment should be premium, but we need the condition where region equals east and ship mode equals deluxe class. So what does that mean? See, I want to modify the ship mode to premium class, segment to premium in region east and wherever I have this deluxe class. The condition is wherever we have the region east and the ship mode is deluxe class, the ship mode should change to premium class and the segment should change to premium. Now let me select this, and if you press F5, 234 records got affected. Now let me run this query. Now you see wherever I have this east, that has been changed to premium class. So wherever you go and check east, you see that the segment is premium and ship mode is premium class. So here let's go and select star from July, where region equals. Now if I run this, see wherever it is east, you can see that we have this premium, segments premium and premium class, wherever it was deluxe class. So likewise, we can plan our query and then we can execute it. We can change the value. So update queries are very simple. It's very simple syntax. Update table name. Set the column name into what values I need to change. And then if you have more columns, add one comma separator and then keep adding the columns to be modified. And if you want to give some conditions, then give this where clause and then give the conditions. Okay, all right. Next, delete. This command is very simple. It's very simple actually, very simple actually. It is just to remove the records. That is, it will delete the records from the table. Let's understand the syntax and then do, because once deleted, we cannot get the data. So delete from table and please mention the condition. The condition is very important. Let's say, for example, I'll go here. I will select the data. Let's see how many records are there from July. 1,478 records are there. The syntax is very simple. Say delete from table name. If I run this, all the records will get deleted. All the records. All 1,478 records will get deleted. But suppose I want to delete specific values. Let's say where segment equals premium. See that I'm saying delete from orders July where segment equals premium. I'll press F5. See, 234 records got deleted. Now if I run this query, that is to check the number of records. See, I have now 1,244 records. All the segments just a minute. I'll just move this. Before update, I'll just paste this here. Okay. All right. So all the records where we have this segment equals premium have been. So delete command is this much. So you don't have, very advanced kind of things to work on. Delete from the table name where you can specify whatever conditions you want, you can specify it. The syntax is that's all. Delete from table name. In that, suppose if you think I want to delete, say, top 10 values only, then I can go here, I can mention top 10. If you want to delete by percent, I'll say top 10%. Let's try this. Now I have this delete from table, and here I'll say delete top. I'm using 10. You can mention anything. Say top 10 means now I have this 1,244 rows. Say delete top 10 from orders to line. So in this case, you don't have to give any condition. If you think you still want to give condition, that means within that condition, top 10 will be removed. But anyways, 10 records will be removed. Now, if I say delete top 10 from orders July, it is taking top 10 values from orders July, and then it will, let me go here, I'll say F5. See, 10 records will get deleted. So top 10 means first 10 in this case. Okay, if you want, you can mention, you can take sales, and again, you can sort it and then take top 10 values. So in this case, this top 10 means top 10 records. Okay, that is first 10 records. Now let me run this. So let's start from orders July. You can see it is 1,234 records. The same thing, I'll say top percent, 10%. So it will remove the records from percentage, say 10%, 124 records got affected. If I select this F5, you can see I have 1,110 records. Suppose if you give some condition and then delete, okay? Now say delete top 10. If you want to give some conditions, you can still give the conditions as well. Say delete top 10 where region equals east. When I run this, still 10 records are deleted, but the records are deleted from region east. In east, 10 records. That means top 10 records, the first 10 records. So you can specify with conditions or without conditions, but be very careful. See, now, anyways, we'll be finishing this. So what we'll do, we'll use this delete, okay, from orders to line. Okay. Now, if I use this without using any conditions, if I press F5, 1,100 records are deleted. That means now there is no records in this table. We also have one more command, that is truncate. So you can truncate the data as well. That is truncate table, and we can specify the table name. So here what it will do, it will just remove all the records from a particular table. Let's say we'll go here, we'll use that as well. And we'll do truncate table. We have something. Orders, we'll take it as temp. Orders underscore temp. Okay, so before that, let's go and see how many records are there in orders temp. There are 9,994 records. I'll go here, say truncate table. Done. Now let's go and check how many records are there. See, 0 records. All the records have been deleted. So likewise, we can use these commands, that is insert, update, and delete. Okay. So these are actually used for manipulation, that is modifying your data, deleting your data, and inserting the records in the table which is existing. Suppose if you want to create a new table, that also you can do by using the select statement. And then we can also use the select statement for inserting the records from other table to another table also. Right? Okay. So I will stop here for the day. Now, I want 1 minute of yours. How was the session? I want all of you to answer. People, I'm taking so much of efforts. Every day I'm preparing so much. So I want all of you at least take 1 minute, okay, to tell how was the session. I'll take the questions after this, after 1 minute. Any questions, please ask after this. Right. So now let me take the questions. Okay. Right. So there is a question saying that if I update the column, by mistake, how can I get back and get same table? Okay. So Ganesh, see, there are a few comments like, um, we have to set, say, before you actually do all this, there is one command, say we have to specify some command like rollback. Okay, so that will actually roll back. Like there's something like undo, so where you can roll back the data that is for the previous data what we have. So that is something totally different where you need to have the permissions. So you cannot directly do that. So you need to have the permissions for using all those commands. Next, when we create new table by using top 20%, any changes happen in the original table, will it automatically reflect in new table? If we update or delete any records, do we undo the changes which we did? Yes, it's the same thing like what I mentioned previously. You have something called as rollback, but when you're actually creating a new table, okay, there is no effect in the original table because you're just creating a new table here. Okay. So when I actually create a table, let's say you are mentioning that top 20%. I have 100 records. I'm taking 20%. That means 20 records have been taken in the new table. Now there is no relation between the table one and table two. The second table, what you've created, it is independent. You can start, using that table independently. So you don't have to bother. What is the difference between delete and truncate and drop? See, delete command, we actually see delete and truncate are same. Okay. But delete, what we do, we have the specification where we go and specify some conditions to delete. Truncate means it will delete all the records from that particular table, all the records. Drop means it is to drop the complete table itself. That is the object. Okay. So delete is for the data. Delete is for the data inside the table. Delete and truncate is for the records, to delete the records. Drop is to drop the entire table itself. Okay, Swati. Right. So someone has asked to explain about truncate. See, truncate, see here. don't know. I forgot the name actually. Let me check. Who has asked? Okay. Azhar has asked, please explain truncate portion. So truncate, you just have to mention truncate table and just mention the table name. That's all. When I run this, so what happens? All the data in that particular table, all the records in that particular table will be removed. So that is truncate. Truncate is to clear. It's like clearing the records from that particular table. Right. Can you please also brief on the various folders which we see in the database? Sure, we'll do that in the next session. Zamir, I'll do that. I'll explain. Though we don't use all the folders, but I'll explain what actually they mean. I'll do it. Right. Okay. Right, people. So this is for the day. So thank you so much. In the next session, we'll learn about some more advanced things. Okay. So see you guys in the next session. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.